Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to Bluetooth your home stereo, and this is my preferred way. There are a couple ways you can do it. This is the way I like to do it. I have a video on how to Bluetooth a vintage home stereo, but this is all one and the same. This is sort of a vintage home stereo in its all way. I mean, for you young guys, this is old school. For me, this is still fairly modern. I don't really like AV surround receivers, but anyway, this is what we're going to do today. We are going to Bluetooth a Denon AVR 1400. This is a decent sounding receiver, has good audio. I listen to a lot of 2-channel stereo. I really don't do any surround or anything like that. So basically, I'm going to show you how to Bluetooth pretty much any home stereo. I'm going to do a preamp version as well too on this. Okay, so I like to use these car audio, they call them marine Bluetooths. I like to use the JL Audio is a really good one. You can eBay these for like 39 bucks. I also like to use the Fusion BT100. It's actually one of my favorites. I really like these two units a lot. You get good distance out of them, and what I like is there's plenty of lead here. So if you have your home stereo, say in a rack setup, you can take this Bluetooth unit and actually mount it up maybe on like a top shelf to get some more distance, because really, you know, I think legal distance on these is something like 30 feet. So they work really good like that. Let's do it. All right, so you're going to need, obviously, a Bluetooth receiver. I highly recommend this JL Audio MBTRX, and I also like the Fusion BT100, and I think they have a 100A version. I've just dealt with a lot of the 100s, so I've done quite a few of these. All right, so basically, this little puppy runs off 12 volts. Just when you hook this up to your car stereo receiver, you would take this red wire here and hook it up to your power antenna lead to turn it on and off, or your power amp remote lead is probably the way to go, amp remote, and this would turn the unit on and off. So obviously these don't have 12 volt outputs, so what I like to use is I like to use wall warts. And so basically what I do is I kind of keep an eye out for 12 volt DC wall warts, and these, you get these at Goodwill. Sometimes you get the actual, if you can't get the wall wart alone, you want to make sure they're 12 volts and roughly an amp. And sometimes you have to buy the whole unit. This came with an Action Tech DSL router, and I paid like $2 for it, and I threw the router away because they're junk, they're worthless. But this is a 12 volt wall wart. So what we're going to do is we're going to give the Bluetooth receiver 12 volts. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to take my little handy dandy meter here. I'm going to plug in this wall wart because I've already cut the end off. Okay, this is kind of hard to do with one hand, so bear with me, guys. All right. So basically, you have you cut the end off. You have 2 wires. And for the most part, on these wires here, you've got one with a solid long stripe, and then the other one has some small writing on it. 90% of the time, the striped side is positive 12 volts. So we're going to check that and make sure that's right. So I'm going to set this up, and then I'm going to show you how to check for voltage. Really, the only tools for this project you need are a pair of crimpers or wire cutters. These are my favorite Matco WT330As. I've been using those for like 30 years. And then just a digital voltmeter set to the 20 volt scale. And this will tell us the polarity, what polarity is what on these wires. Like I said, I think it's the long striped one here. So I'm going to put it on pause here, and we'll come right back. Okay, so I've got the wires here, and we're going to now check polarity. So you can look at the meter here, and I'm going to put the red lead, the red test lead here on the solid wire, and the black one on the other one. Now, that's reading 14.6 volts, which is fine. This is going to load down quite a bit. Also understand this, that a vehicle, a car, whether it's a car or a boat, is going to charge at like 14.8, and these things can go up to like 16 volts. I mean, I wouldn't push it, but when we put the Bluetooth unit on it, it's probably going to drop it down to like 13.8. Okay, so here we have the correct polarization. We know that the red lead on the meter is 12 volts, and I have this on the long stripe wire here. And I'm going to hook it up backwards so you can see what your meter's going to tell you if you have the wrong polarization. Okay, it still reads 14 volts, right? But you see the minus sign? So that means we have our polarization wrong. So I'm going to put the polarization the correct way and go back here. And I'm going to show you that I have the red lead, right? The red lead here is on this long white stripe. Come on, camera. Let's go. There it is. Can you see it? There. Okay. So today, by the way, I'm filming with a Galaxy Samsung 7 phone. It's killer. Okay. So now that I know that the polarization is correct, we're going to wire this sucker up. So let me do this real quick. Okay. So now we have the wall wart wired to the receiver unit, and I used butt connectors just to save time, and quite honestly, my soldering iron setup is down in the shop, and I don't want to run and do that. So basically, when I usually do these, I will solder and heat shrink these leads. You can get away with vinyl butt connectors, and this will work and everything, and it's just fine. But generally, I do solder and heat shrink, so you know that's optional to you guys. Okay, so now what do we do? So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you probably my favorite way to actually hook this up and give this unit power. So I'm going to pause this again, and I'm going to flip the receiver around, and we'll go over that. Okay, here we are at the back of the receiver, and this is where all the fun stuff happens. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the RCAs. Okay, so this has quite a few inputs, and you know what? Why I like these is I'm still into vinyl, so I still play records. So I like to keep, I have like a half a dozen of these things. Marantzas, Pioneers, I've got 2 of these Denons, I've got some Hafler gear and some other stuff, and I basically do this all the same way. But one thing, guys, phono input. This has the RIAA equalizer preamp in here for turntables. So, you know, if you guys are Goodwill and you see one of these things that's got phono input, score it. It's worth $5 or $10, all right? Okay, so where can I plug this? On this rig, you know, it would be easy. I don't have a CD player on it. I could hook it up on CD. I could use the DVD hookups. I could use DAT, the digital audio tape input. But you can fiddle around with these. You know, don't put it on the phono because it'll just freaking blow your speakers apart, man. This is already preamped, and you don't need any more preamp. So I'm just going to go in on CD, you know. So there's left, right, and there's right. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Okay, now this is the cool part of the install. All right, the wall wart. Remember how I was telling you that we got to get 12 volts to this unit? Well, this puts out 12 volts, right? So what I'm going to do is I have a switched outlet down here, and these switched outlets are very important. Use the switched one because then when you turn the receiver on and off, it's going to turn this on and off. So I'm going to plug this puppy into here. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, we're good to go. The little pairing lights going on here. And this is another reason why I like to use these, because you pair a device or two up to these, and you don't have to fart around and push pairings buttons and all sorts of crap like this. If you want to go, say, from your Samsung to your LG or whatever you're using, is all you have to do is just search for this piece, and it'll come up. And I really like that feature. It just makes a really nice hookup. Okay, so generally what I would do is I would, you know, put this up in the rack somewhere and wire tie all these wires together. But because we're just kind of doing this for demonstration purposes, I'm going to kind of Mickey Mouse this. And I've actually got some old Cambridge Soundworks speakers here, if you guys remember Cambridge Soundworks. And if, by the way, if you don't like the way this comes off, because some tuners, you know, you can flip this around the other way and stuff, and if this sticks out and bugs you, then go to Wally World or something, get your really short extension cord and plug into that switched outlet. We really don't need this thing to be on all the time, so that's why we use the switched outlet. It's highly important you use that. I mean, you can use it unswitched, but, you know, whatever. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me turn this around. Okay, so hopefully I don't screw this up too bad. I'm trying to do this with one hand. So it goes a little like this. We're gonna we use the CD input, so we're gonna go CD, and let's make sure it's almost all the way down. We're gonna turn it up a little bit. All right, we're gonna take our device, and we are gonna run over here, and we are going to do the Bluetooth. And we are going to search for devices. And I have the Bluetooth to another stereo of mine that's actually on right now in the other room. And then I have the MBT RX, which is our JL audio device. We're going to pair it. And it went beep, and I had the volume down too far, but it beeped. Okay? And so we've got music, see? Okay, now I'm not going to play much because copyright crap that I've been dealing with YouTube. It's paired. It's a done deal. Here's what I like to do. Now, this is just the old man in me. My kids give me shit for this, but I'm a talk radio nut and just a radio nut in general. So basically what I'm doing is I use TuneIn app. And this phone is actually a deactivated phone. It's one of my old cell phones. And I keep these around because I load them up with music, or I load them up, or I'll put them on TuneIn radio, or I'll put them on Pandora or something. And then I can, so like I live in Washington State right now. I'm up here by Forks, Washington. About, I don't know, 80 or 100 miles from Seattle. And I used to live in Salt Lake City, and one of my favorite stations is X96 in Salt Lake. So this is kind of how I listen to X96. I use, like I say, TuneIn radio, and it's just like way cool. You can do all sorts of stuff in here. Bluetoothing old stereos is a blast. Let's see here. We got the evening news here. See if we can pair it. This station's a little funky sometimes. And
hey, welcome to the deli.
Yes, how's your turkey?
of course we have
Is it all natural?
the advertisements with TuneIn, but
What does natural tasting mean?
that's cool.
That means it tastes natural.
Because it is natural?
The taste is.
So it's all natural.
So there's a
natural
radio
taste.
station over in Port Angeles. We get the weather from and stuff. But anyway, Bluetoothing, basically any home stereo. This is my favorite way to do it. And I appreciate you guys watching. Oh, yeah. And if you're cool with this video, subscribe and leave comments. Tell me how you guys do yours. I've done several stereos like this, and the results are outstanding. And like I say, you can play around with different inputs. You know, you could probably use the video disc player, laser disc player. You got TV. All these preamp levels here are going to be roughly the same. The only one you want to stay away from is phono. And if you have one that has tape capability and stuff, you may want to check out on that. But I usually use CD because, quite honestly, I don't even own a CD player for home anymore. I always just take my discs and load them up into the computer and then throw them on my phones. So, all right, man. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Breaker Broke 23 over and out.